Basic geometrical ideas. In this chapter, we will learn about points, lines and curves, polygons, angles, geometrical figures, triangles, quadrilaterals and circles. Geometry is all about shapes and lines. A closer look at the shapes of objects we daily use tells us that geometry is all around us. To understand the concepts of geometry, let's begin with the basics. The most basic being point. We all know what a point is. If we place a dot and name it as A, then it is point A. Now let's move on to lines. It has three types. First is line segment. It has its endpoints fixed as point A and B in this case. So the endpoints and the length is fixed in the case of a line segment. The second is line. In case of a line, the endpoints are not fixed. This is how we draw a line with arrows at both the ends. It can be extended in both directions. The third one is ray. We can say that a ray is a mix of the earlier two. In case of a ray, one point is fixed and the other point can be extended. The best example of a ray is the light coming out from sun. The point of origin, which is sun, is fixed and its rays get extended to reach us on Earth and elsewhere in the solar system. Now let's discuss about intersecting lines. Intersecting lines are the lines that meet at some point. This is line 1 and this is line 2. As you can see that these two lines meet at this point. So these two lines are intersecting lines and the point at which they intersect is called point of intersection. If you observe carefully, you will find a lot of real-life examples of intersecting lines like a grill on a window, wooden planks crossing railway tracks, or crossing of the roads. Now let's move on to parallel lines. Unlike intersecting lines, parallel lines are the lines that never meet at any point. So for the lines to be parallel, they do not meet at any point even if we extend them in any direction. The distance between the parallel lines at any point remains equal. These two are parallel lines as they will not meet at any point as the distance between the two lines is consistently equal. Whereas these two will not be considered parallel lines. While we do not see them intersecting or meeting, but they will surely meet at some point if these lines are extended, as the distance between them is not equal at different points. After lines, let's move on to curves. If we keep pencil on a paper and doodle it without lifting, it will result into a curve. Let's have a look at two curves here. Both of these are curves but have one distinct difference. In the first one, the line does not cross anywhere, while in the second, it crosses at a point. The curve that does not cross itself is called a simple curve. Furthermore, sometimes the ends of the curves are joined. Such curves are called closed curves. Those curves whose ends are not joined are called open curves. Let's move on to our next topic, that is polygons. Polygons are the shapes that are made by joining line segments. All these shapes can be termed as polygons as they are formed by joining the line segments. So, all squares, triangles and rectangles are polygons. Let's compare it with this shape here. In this shape, we do have three line segments, but on one side there is a curve. So, this will not be termed as a polygon. Now let's discuss three important elements of any polygon, which are vertices, sides and diagonals. Let's take this up with the help of a rectangle. The corner points where two line segments meet are called vertices. The red dots denote the vertices of this particular polygon. The next is sides. The line segments present in the polygons are the sides of a polygon. Now, what are diagonals? When the two opposite points meet through a line, that line is called a diagonal. These lines in red that are joining the two opposite points are the diagonals here. Now, let's talk about angles. When two rays originate from a common starting point and go in different directions, an angle is formed at the point of origin of these two rays. These two rays A and B forming this angle are called sides or arms, and the common point of origin O is called the vertex of the angle. This angle can be named as angle AOB or angle BOA. The portion between the two arms is called interior, and the portion outside the two arms is called exterior. Any point lying between the area of two arms is called interior point, and any point lying outside is called exterior point. In this case, P is an interior point and Q is an exterior point. The interior part of the angle is not restricted. As the rays can be extended indefinitely, the area of the interior also gets extended to the same extent. Before moving on, just spend some moments and have a look at the summary of basic geometrical terms discussed so far. Now, let's talk about some geometrical figures. Let's start with triangle. A triangle is basically a three-sided polygon. If we draw three lines that meet each other, it will form a triangle. Let's name this triangle as triangle ABC. This figure, which is a triangle, has three sides: AB, BC and CA. It also has three vertices: A, B and C. If we observe closely, it also has three angles. Can you identify those? These angles are angle ABC, angle BCA and angle CAB. Here also we have interior and exterior area. All the points lying inside the triangle will be called interior points, and all the points lying outside the triangle will be called exterior points. Points M, N and O will be termed as interior points, while points X, Y and Z will be called exterior points. Now let's move on to quadrilateral. A quadrilateral is a four-sided polygon. Any shape that has four sides is called a quadrilateral. A quadrilateral also has sides, vertices and angles. Here, as you can see that the sides of the quadrilateral are AB, BC, CD and DA. The vertices are A, B, C and D. It has angles, namely angle ABC, angle BCD, angle CDA and angle DAB. It has everything that a triangle had, but a quadrilateral has something more than that. It has adjacent sides, adjacent angles, opposite sides and opposite angles. The two sides which are next to each other and share a common point are called adjacent sides. As we can see that AB is next to BC, so AB is adjacent to BC. Similarly, BC and CD are also adjacent sides. CD and DA are adjacent. DA and AB are adjacent. The adjacent angles can be identified in the same way. Angle ABC and angle BCD are next to each other, so they are adjacent angles. Similarly, angle BCD and angle CDA are also adjacent angles. Angle CDA and angle DAB are adjacent. Angle DAB and angle ABC are also adjacent. Now let's discuss the opposites. The word opposite itself suggests that we will be looking at the sides and angles lying opposite to each other and will not have any common point. As we can see that side AB is opposite to the side DC and side AD is opposite to the side BC. In the similar fashion, angle DAB is opposite to the angle BCD and angle CDA is opposite to the angle ABC. After discussing polygons, let's discuss the elements of a circle. The first and foremost is the center. Center of a circle is the midpoint of this figure. When we draw a circle with the help of a compass, we place the needle at a particular point and then move it around. The point where the needle of the compass rests actually becomes the center of that circle. And the entire length of the circle drawn is called its circumference. Let's talk about radius now. What is a radius? When we draw a line from the center of the circle to any point at the circumference, the line is called the radius. This line OA is the radius of this circle. The next thing to know is the diameter. Any line that connects any 2 points of the circumference is called a diameter. But there is one condition. This line must pass through the center of the circle. BC is the diameter of this circle. A diameter is always double of the radius. Any diameter will have 2 radiuses in it. In case of diameter BC, OB and OC are the 2 radiuses. Now let's see what a chord is. Like diameter, a chord also connects any 2 points of the circumference, but it does not need to pass through the center. The line DC is a chord. It connects 2 points D and C of the circumference, but does not pass through the center. A circle can also have an arc. What is an arc? If we take any 2 points on the circumference, the curve between these 2 points is called an arc. This curve between the points E and F is called arc EF. The arc is represented with a small curve on the top of the letters EF. Now let's see what is a sector and a segment of a circle. These two are the portions of a circle. The area between a chord and the circumference is called a segment. In this case, the area with the blue shade between the chord BC and the corresponding circumference is called segment of a circle, whereas the sector is formed with the help of an arc. If we join the points E and F of the arc to the center, the area between E, F and O will be called sector of the circle.